What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And as always, we are starting the week out pretty good. Yesterday, we had some moves on some of the bigger tech. All the rest of tech pretty much followed today, which was awesome to see. It's awesome to see tech moving again the way it is. It's not just going sideways. Yes, some tech is going sideways, but the market seems extremely bullish, although we are a bit extended on the SPY. It's primarily because of, I think, three of the big three of the big tech stocks that we had yesterday were really pushing. Some of the value stocks were also pushing as well, some of the heavier weighted ones. So being said, we should just jump right into the charts. Get into your nightly watch. But before we do that, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So with that being said, we are going to jump right into it today. Let me go ahead and hide this so we don't get all that in there and make this full screen. There we go. Now we're cooking. So what do we got? The market in general, I am recording this 4:30, so the market is still moving along for the next couple hours. But ultimately, I wanted to look at the SPY. The SPY has been moving a lot, although it's been individual value and or tech stocks that have been driving it. And yesterday, we had three major tech stocks. We had Apple, Facebook, and essentially Microsoft push us yesterday on the tech side of the house, as well as Tesla didn't really move much yesterday, but it did stall and has been kind of really consolidating at this point. But the market in general, it looks like it needs a bit of a pullback, maybe back to this 402, maybe even down to this 398. Just to rest up to get ready for earnings, because earnings is coming up, especially some of the bigger name stocks like your Teslas, Apples, Facebooks, and all those. They need a little bit of running track, if you will. So it's good if we can get a little bit of a pullback. That way they can kind of warm up their legs and get ready to run. But QQQ, it pushed up quite a bit yesterday, like I said, off those major players. Today, it pushed a little bit. We had a lot of individual stocks that played catch up in the tech space. Some sold off, especially Twitter, Snap, two really big runners today. Square was another really big runner as well. I barely missed Square, and I'm a little bitter about that. But nonetheless, I was watching Tesla for no apparent reason, only to watch it go sideways. But being said, QQQ looks like it does need a pullback as well. We'll see if we actually come down and try to retest the 200. It could be possible. Tomorrow we could get a little melt off. This 200 could move up to this 325 mark, as long as we actually don't hit that 325 mark and possibly even higher, which is a possibility. What I can see is us pulling back a little bit and starting to shoot. A lot of stuff is looking bullish. Even TLT is looking solid. We're not getting anything crazy. It's looking stable, trading sideways. Everything is, again, looking bullish. I've been talking about this. It takes a while for this to build up, and it's been extremely aggravating. I understand that. It's been aggravating for me as well, but ultimately understand that we are getting there. We are building up. This whole anticipation for this big bull run is leading up to this. So being said, so the market in itself looks good. Let's go ahead and pull up the charts. So tomorrow, again, like I think we might pull back a little bit tomorrow, perhaps for some good setups tomorrow. So it really depends. 9:30 a.m. My ideas and stuff will be much different. But again, watch list for tomorrow. I like to start out with these two pretty much as always. Those are always the big ones I'm looking for. I think they always have some of the bigger moves in the market for the most part. This is why I do call this Beta Memoirs, because I do play a lot of beta. I do play a lot of growth stocks, but there are my primaries pretty much. Then we got PLTR, Lemonade, Disney, NNDMU, Google, EXPI, and DraftKings. So being said, let's go ahead and look at Tesla, of course, as the first one. Tesla is actually playing sideways, right? Like even yesterday, it did gap up, but it's pulled down into the zone and held this 20 pretty well. And today, I actually thought it was going to start selling off a little bit because it looked like it needed a pullback, just to retest on the daily, because on the daily, it looks like a huge wedge here, if you can see. And we're breaking out, looking for a retest. But we do have the 20 and the 50 right there to back it up. Looks extremely bullish on the daily. So needless to say, I think we might actually just turn from this point and start running. Tesla does like to do that. It does like to carry on for days on end. And considering everything else is very extremely bullish and Tesla has just been beaten down, Tesla will lead the way. So even though the market looks like it wants to turn, Tesla could very well just start running on its own. And then at that point, the market will follow. So I wouldn't be surprised if we woke up tomorrow as a little bit of a down day. Again, I don't think we're going to go start selling like crazy anymore. I think that whole thing is past us. We're ready for earnings. We're ready to start running. So again, Tesla is on watch. Again, I think it's holding great here. If it continues to do this, I did get a contract in this today. It did push up, and then I didn't like the fact that it stalled. I was on a call earlier today. When it came back into here, I took a call and wrote it up. But then when I was struggling here, I ended up getting out of Tesla. But Tesla is something I've always been scalping, and I wanted to take a lot of long positions today. I ended up taking some longer extended contracts, but I ended up going out of all of them because I kept reminding myself that there might be a little bit more of a pullback at this point until we start moving up, because it looked like it is needed a little bit more. So Airbnb is the next one. Airbnb. This one, I missed it this morning. Again, I was too concentrated on Tesla. I thought Tesla was really going to run today. But Airbnb had a nice pop. I was waiting for it to come down. It didn't want to come down at all for the rest of the day. But it's looking good, to be honest. Again, if we pull back, I want to see how this moves. It is back in the range. It's been playing this range for a minute. So it is building up here. So if we do come down, it'll be good to see if it does hold this 186.49 mark. If it does, I think that's definitely very, 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 very bullish. And definitely look, now that this 200 EMA is up a little bit higher, you might only get that 187 mark right there before it decides to take off if it doesn't gap up overnight, which could be a possibility if Tesla does gap up overnight. My next one is PLTR. Planter, looking great. The consolidation is great. It's playing the zone really well, which I actually need to clean this zone out a little bit better here, but it's playing the range really well. Consolidation, we're seeing this on a lot of big stocks. These are the stocks I like to get into, these long consolidation periods or these long ranges here. It's just building up. So if you have patience and can get into a leap in this and ride this out just as long as that contract has time on it, because if it rattles too much and it's a short-term contract, it's going to get chewed up. If you are going options or if you take shares in the PLTR, I am in shares in PLTR. I did actually grab, not leaps, but I grabbed some December calls here on this test down here, and I did ride those up, and I ended up getting out of them because it got rejected pretty hard once they hit that line. So I didn't stay in that one, but ultimately I'm looking at this again tomorrow. Lemonade, LAMD is the other one we have today. Let me see here. Lemonade should be on top. Lemonade. So this one, actually, the setup looks really good. It's back over. It did sell off the other day for whatever unknown reason. I don't actually know if that was a news move or not, but it did push right back up. If it does, we wake up and it is holding this range here tomorrow, this 95.23 to 96 mark. If it is holding in here, I can see Lemonade tearing off back up to all-time highs, because I think once this bull market starts getting rolling, it is going to really pump for a good chunk of the year. Again, that's not saying that any black swan could come out and obviously correct all of that. Just be aware that the the yield curve can also be something that comes into play. So that is something you definitely want to keep in mind. Disney is the next one that I do have on check here. And again, a lot of consolidation. It's been building, broke up, stepped up, and now it's consolidating again. This might be another one that might ride a bit. So longer contracts or shares in this one, but I think Disney is prime for another big move back to 200 all-time highs, if not more, especially with the parks and everything. This one could really get the juices going and start pumping here pretty soon. NNDM is another one. This one I've been kind of really watching. It's been playing the zone. It actually came back down into the zone today, which has been holding fantastic. If it does break above the 832 mark, we can get a nice run back up to the 888 mark. And then if we can break that, then I think it's pretty much fair game for a big long run, hopefully back to 12 at that point, if not more. I believe the all-time high was at 18, so I believe we can make another run, maybe not to 18, but this bull market, we very well could, in my opinion. I think NNDM is a very strong company. I do like the fundamentals on that one. U is the next one I have for you guys. U is one that I think it's been building well, and it's finally above all these EMAs. This one's been struggling throughout this whole sell-off, but it looks like we're finally back. We're finally above 200. If we do check this zone, we open up in this zone tomorrow, we're not selling off. As long as we hold this 99.81 mark, it would be great for longs out of here. Again, consolidating, another big move that's going to happen. Again, this is what I look for. I always look for these long consolidation periods. Normally there's a big move. Those are my favorite moves. I don't like to play something that is essentially already started the momentum. Sometimes I scalp those. But those I definitely in and out real fast. I don't like holding those. I like to build a position with these consolidations. So that's what I primarily look for when playing my strategy. Although the past month I haven't really been able to do that. It's been more scalping, which I don't mind doing. I do enjoy doing it. You do get caught up in the moment in scalping, but ultimately understand that your bigger gains are going to come from these bigger consolidated moves. And so that is what I look for. So being said, Google in itself actually looks like you starting to pop right now after hours. Let me see Google. Go ahead and type in Google here. Google in itself, monster move yesterday, starting consolidating again. What we might actually see in Google, but something to keep in mind, it had this huge consolidation period before it ripped. I won't actually be surprised if I could speak, it would be surprised if we consolidate for another long period of time before we pop up again. Although it's had this long period of consolidation already, so we might just be looking for the other leg up once the market's okay, which I'm thinking we might still pop. We might pop Wednesday and Thursday, and then going into Friday, we might finally have that sell-off that I'm thinking about. I think the market, from what it looks like, the trend line is sitting around on SPY around that 412 mark. So I won't be surprised if we ran up to 412 by Friday and then did a little bit of a sell-off at that point. Even though right now the market looks like it wants to turn, I think it's got a little bit more juice, then to possibly back off a little bit into next week and then start taking off. So being said, and I think a lot of people will still be scared going into the weekend, holding anything over the weekend. The next one I have is EXPI. I talked about this one yesterday, still consolidating, still looking really good. I am really liking this one. I didn't look at a position today, but I will definitely be looking at a position tomorrow on this guy. I think the company is very sound, and there's a lot of headroom here that we're missing out on. So I want to look for a position for this. It'll be a longer leap. At this point, what I want to do, since we don't have full confirmation, we're seeing a lot of very positive, bullish things right now. I've been talking about all the positive things building up with TLT and all that, and the news and the fundamentals, but ultimately understand that right now it really looks like it wants to pop, especially this one. So I'm still looking at longer term contracts, maybe not leaps at the moment, but still something at least a couple months out, 6 months out. If the market starts moving and giving me confirmation, I will start going a little bit closer, maybe a month or two out at that point. But ultimately, we're still not 100% yet. We are so close. But with that being said, I still want a little bit more time just in case. That way, if we do continue to rattle around a little bit, I don't get chewed up in contracts, or you can go shares as well. That works just as well. The last one I do have for you guys is DraftKings. DraftKings actually looked really good for tomorrow, although tomorrow I do want it over this 200. So you're looking at the 64.39 mark. If we can break above that and retest that tomorrow, I think DraftKings has got some good headroom, got at least a $10 move back up to all-time highs, which I think it can easily do. You are looking at a lot of people going out and having fun. And what better way than to place bets on some gambling events that you might be at. So with that being said, that is pretty much what I got for you guys. I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, short, sweet, to the point, let you know what's going on, give you my watch list, and then go get it tomorrow. Again, I know it's been a long March, but I think we are looking at very bullish signs. Everything is very, very bullish. Everybody's getting out. The weather's starting to warm up. People are ready to get out and start moving. So let's make it happen. Again, remember to manage risk. And until tomorrow, guys, I will see you guys later.